Hi, I'm Sarah. I became a Christian when I was 9, but I have always struggled with the idea of not being good enough, whether that's with how I look, how I do in school, what my job is, or anything else. And this kind of started off from when I was in primary school and not looking the same as the other girls. And being a lot taller than the other girls, and this carried into high school. And I remember the first few years of school not having any friends, and you know, I would have found myself being so crippled by fear of being on my own and not being good enough that I would have had my lunch on my own in the bathroom, and then I started getting very bad acne. And this just made everything worse. This made my anxiety of people looking at me worse. I couldn't look in a mirror for years, and I ended up, you know, coming home crying, and my mum would take me to endless doctor's appointments of how to try and help that, and we ended up being referred onto the hospital, who prescribed me very strong hormone medication for my skin. And it was great, it helped, but that the strong hormone medication ended up changing my moods a lot and made me very down, and the problem of not feeling good enough was still there, and I still hated the way I looked, and yeah, the problem of how I valued myself and respected myself was still there, even though the outside had changed. And yeah, I still love God, but I didn't really believe that He loved me. And then this started to affect my schoolwork. I started to not go into school because this feeling of not liking myself and hating myself ended up affecting my relationships with my friends, and a few of those broke down, and I would have pretended to be sick. Told my parents I was sick so I wouldn't have to go into school and deal with it. So my grades suffered. I ended up leaving school with much lower grades than I should have. I didn't apply for any university because I knew I wouldn't get in. I left without references, personal statement, UCAS or anything, and I just started working in a coffee shop, and I loved it, but I ended up turning to other things to try and heal this thought of not being good enough and not liking myself, and that ended up being going to parties and clubs and using alcohol and boys to help me feel better about myself. But all along I would lie to my parents and my family about where I was going, so this just added another layer of guilt with what I was doing with my life. And still I followed God, and I went to church, and I had a relationship with Him, but I wasn't thriving. I was just getting by and just clinging on to Him, but I wasn't really enjoying life, and just went in a negative spiral. I did go to university eventually, about a year later, and started Bible college, and loved it, and was studying the Bible and absolutely loved it. But those habits of going to clubs and using alcohol and attention from guys was still how I coped with who I was and what I thought of myself. And this added another layer of lying to my now Bible college friends of where I would go at the weekends. And all the pressure of it all just got a lot, and I was in a very dark place, and started going to counselling to help cope with that, because I knew I wasn't healthy, and I wanted to be better. And then I went on a mission team to South Africa, and actually ended up staying for 4 months. And it was here that I was away from my circumstance of going to clubs. I couldn't go to clubs when I was out there. I didn't really drink when I was out there, and I didn't know anybody really apart from a handful of people. So I was able to be away from those influences, and God really broke me down and challenged me about what I thought of myself and how I hated myself, and He used the people out there and His word to really speak into the fact that He loves me, but I also have a responsibility to learn to believe that. So I came home from that completely changed, completely in love with God again and what He had done for me, and that He wouldn't have done that for me if He didn't want to, and if He didn't value me. And someone once told me that the reason God makes no two people the same is because that if you went missing, then He wouldn't notice if you were the exact same as someone else. So I started to find value in the things that made me different, and the fact that I'm really tall and a bit strange or whatever that I think negatively of myself, God loves. So now God has given me an identity of value and of a reason to get up in the morning. That's not myself, it's Him, and yeah, He's given me purpose to live every day for Him and not for myself. I am Sarah, and I am made for more.